You know, back in the day when I used to hear the name John Kerry, I just sort of laughed and sort of made a few jokes and talked about the flip-flopper and all that other fun stuff. But when I hear his name now, I just straight cringe. It's like scratching a chalkboard, kind of like that sound. It makes me kind of want to go, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just kind of a rough thing. But here's the deal. I have to talk about John Kerry right now. Kind of don't want to talk about John Kerry, but I have to talk about John Kerry because there's an article in Time Magazine online that is talking about something absolutely crazy. Dare I use a young word? Gnarly? It's gnarly. It's really, really ugly, okay? The title of the article is John Kerry, We Have to Push Back Hard on Efforts to Build New Fossil Fuel Infrastructure in Response to Rising Gas Prices. Well, let's provide a little bit of context for you, shall we? I will read the first two paragraphs of this article and maybe the first three paragraphs of this article because I think it's worthwhile, and then I'm going to provide some biblical commentary on the subject, if you know what I mean. Here's what it says. It says, John Kerry, the U.S. Special Presidential Envoy for Climate Change, warned Tuesday that war in the Ukraine could undermine international progress to cut carbon emissions. I think it's really funny how he talks about international progress to cut carbon emissions when his private jet increases carbon emissions substantially, just his jet. But that's a whole other story. Anyway, he says this, quote, you have to have... I don't want to misread it. I misread it. Sorry, let me repeat it. You have this new revisionism suggesting that we have to be pumping oil like crazy and we have to be moving into long-term fossil fuel infrastructure building, which would be absolutely disastrous. Now, he says that literally at the time of this recording, which is today, June 7th, and what he says is absolutely insane. After that, he says we have to push back, and we have to push back hard. The next paragraph says, Kerry characterized the rising energy prices caused by the conflict as a destabilizing force that could affect U.S. resolve both in its support of Ukraine and efforts to cut carbon emissions. It will change politics, and that's probably exactly what Putin wants. That's what Kerry said. And he says we have to stand strong and fight back. Let me give you the translation for that. We need to continue our totalitarian policies in order to make it unaffordable for Americans to be able to drive their vehicles and use gasoline. And we need to scapegoat the situation in Ukraine in order to make it politically acceptable to be able to hold our ground, all while we're flying our jets and doing all the other things that we're doing. Sounds like Revelation chapter 6 to me. Sounds like Revelation chapter 13. Folks, this is exactly what the ruling class wants. They want to disable you and me. They want to make everyday people incapable of being able to do something as simple as traveling because they can't afford gas. And they want to make your life miserable. Why? Because they hate God. And if they hate God, they hate freedom. And that's the way it is. By the way, these people are working extra hard to do all this stuff now because the midterms are coming up and they are absolutely scared that they're going to lose power in the United States. And I think they are, but I think everything has been set in order. And folks, we are in the last days. So heads up, Jesus is coming soon. Fight the good fight because God wants you to participate in the spiritual battle. And this is one of the ways we do it. God bless you guys. Love you.